Guys, welcome back to another episode of Just Vanning It. This one we've done before, but we've seen that many posts in the last couple of weeks that we thought we'd touch on it because it's quite a serious subject and we need to get a lot more people aware of this. So let's jump straight into it.
Proudly brought to you by Icheck tpms.
Hello.
So we're doing something a little different today. We're actually bringing you a morning sesh. It's about 7 o'clock. It's pre-work, as I like to call it, and we're parked up on the side of the road because we're sort of between point A and point B. We drove until quite late last night. There was no space at the inn for the first place we pulled over at, so we travelled further down the road and found ourselves a not so glorious roadside stop that we've been parked up in. So last night was pretty interesting, wasn't it?
It was. So if you hear a road train go past, you can just imagine how the night went. I also could not sleep 100%, but we got through and here we are this morning.
And that's travel for you.
100%.
Don't always go as planned.
We are making some distance because we've got some exciting stuff happening in the background, which we can't wait to share with you guys in the upcoming weeks. So stay tuned for that one. But guys, this is a serious topic that's I've seen, especially over the last 2 weeks and in the past, and it has happened to us. And the reason why I've said to Sue we've got to try and make another one of this is because obviously it's not reaching everyone and everyone's not taking it seriously. So if you understand what we're saying and you want to share it, please share it. It's not about how many views we get on this episode. We just need to get this aware to people because we still see it happening.
Yeah.
And that is roadside assist.
Roadside assist.
Big one. Attention. Ding. Roadside assist. Now,
we've just done the Gibb River Road, which is a notorious road.
Yep.
Obviously for being one that...
Well, they call it the caravan killer.
They do call it the caravan killer. But it also takes a lot out of your vehicle. And we were coming back down from Drysdale, I believe it was. And we just saw this caravan parked on the side of the road. Door was open. Caravan was unhitched. No vehicle. So Derek got up and sort of went round the caravan. He was like, "Good morning, hello." And upon closer inspection...
Yeah, so that it was a single axle caravan, and we're not going to name and shame any people, but we don't know if they had roadside assist or not. But the point we're trying to make is that, these things do happen. And when they do happen, it can cost a lot of money to get you somewhere where you can at least try and get your vehicle or your caravan or your boat or your camper trailer or anything like that looked at and try and repair it. Now, there's been a few stories. We can sit down and tell you stories. There's been other YouTubers that have broken down and fortunately they had roadside assist. We didn't set off, to be honest, with roadside assist.
No.
But when we were going to tackle the Oodendata track 3 years ago, Sue jumped online and we decided we need roadside assist. So we got roadside assist prior to going on it, and then we've kept it going ever since. And we've had to use it ourselves. And I think it's $290 something. It could have changed by now, but it's around that $300 for the year for the ultimate package.
A tickle over.
A tickle over there and there. We paid monthly. There's a reason why we don't have to dive. Sue works full time on the road, so
our costs are all
paid monthly. People do different. Now that's for the year.
There is an option to pay it up front, which obviously
Yes.
then reduces the cost. You get a discount. And I think last time I looked, because we've been with more than one company for roadside assist. The first year we were with a certain company. The second year we changed to another company. And I think if you're looking at sort of those top-end packages, and again, we're by no means financial experts, but it tends to sit between $300 and $400 per year.
Per year, yeah.
Which is not a lot of money. That is literally two coffees and
now,
two bars.
we know what it's like when we set off. We were like right cutthroat on the money, and
yeah, we didn't have any.
We didn't have any. And I know what it can be like. Like, you want to go and you look at the money and you just go, I can't afford to buy it. I'm just going to take a chance. Now, all I can say is that it's well worth the money, even if you don't use it. Like, surely you can see where we're going. Like, so when we broke, let's talk about our situation first before we just cover some other stories we've heard. Is we broke down near the Barclay Homestead Highway with our Ford Ranger and our old Caravan. We got someone came out from Tennant Creek, had a look, put a scan gauge on it. At that time I didn't have a scan gauge, that's why we carry one now. And he told us to go onto Mount Isa, where there's a bit of a industry there, to have a look at it. Now, at the time, RACQ paid for that guy to come out to me. We then got to I drove then to Barclay Homestead Highway, and we decided it wasn't good for us to travel, so we rung up the RACQ, and they organised everything, and they took the car on the back of a truck, and the Caravan was towed behind it. We got to stay in the car, and we travelled to Mount Isa. When we got to Mount Isa, we couldn't get it fixed. I rang up RACQ again, and I advised them that there's a mechanic in Townsville that can have a look at it for us. They then organised the truck, but to go from Townsville to Mount Isa to Townsville, but we couldn't.
They call that a second recovery, because we weren't able to repair the vehicle or have it looked at in Mount Isa. We then required a second recovery through to Townsville.
And we couldn't travel in the truck at the time because there's an amount of time it's due, because I think 1,000 k's where the truck has to then sleep over, because you can only do so many hours and then drive. So we had to then get a hire car. RACQ covered everything. Now, just one thing we'd like to touch base. I do believe that you have a recovery of up to $7,000 on the ultimate cover.
With RACQ.
With RACQ.
They all differ, so you've got to look into the maximum amounts and what they cover.
I think they're both that same sort of.
Yeah.
If it was to be a bit more, you would pay the difference. Now, I saw a post last week, a guy broken down at Barclay Homestead with a Ford Ranger again, and it didn't sound like he had roadside assist. Someone actually mentioned there they had their car towed from Barclay Homestead to Brisbane. That's most probably where they were based. Like I said, I'm just picking up. I'm not saying that this is true. I'm just sort of picking up the vibe. And it cost them, it was $8,800, and then the RACQ covered the $7,000, and they paid the $1,800. Now, if we don't pay the $300 or whatever dollars for the year, and you take that chance, and I'm thinking that if you don't take the cover, if you're going to travel for 6 months, 1 month, a year, or whatever, you don't have the money to do it.
You could find yourself in a very
when you break down, you've now got to find all that money to get. Barclay Homestead doesn't have anything around it, so you can try and understand where we're trying to go with this. Like, it's well worth the money.
Yeah. I think the important thing to note, and what Derek's saying, is if you don't have the money for the roadside assist annual premium, you probably don't have the money for the actual cost of towing, because they don't just pay towing. So they recover your vehicle in terms of towing, so your vehicle and your Caravan. They'll also pay for your accommodation, because obviously your Caravan is being towed on the back of the truck, or your vehicle can't tow your Caravan. And when it came to us with our trip from Mount Isa through to Townsville, they did offer to fly us, so you've got an option. You don't necessarily have to spend it in one way. We could either fly or we could rent a car. But the important thing is that the budget is there for you to make the arrangements around travel, accommodation, and to get your vehicle to a place that it can be looked at and it can be repaired.
And another thing is, it comes down to the safety thing as well. Like, if you don't want to be stuck somewhere where you're trying to, try to find the money to get somewhere, or a mechanic and stuff like that.
On the side of a major highway with road trains and traffic, and
we had options. I mean, RACQ gave us options. They're like, we get you back to Tennant Creek, or what do you guys want to do? Do you want to go back to Brisbane? And we were like, well, how much is it? And then at that time, we didn't have the $1,800 above the $7,000 they give you. So we try to work within our budget, which we managed to do.
I think the other thing that is watch out. The other thing that is really pertinent is that generally, when something like this does happen to you, you can be very remote. And it's a very stressful situation. There is nothing worse than being on a trip or traveling around Australia, whether it's for 2 weeks or whether it's for 2 years, and having your vehicle or your van damaged, broken down, basically off the road, because both are absolutely essential for your trip. So it can really ruin the experience and also increase your stress levels and anxiety. And RACQ, when we broke down, was absolutely incredible in terms of the way
they made sure that we had water, food, everything like that. We barely even had to sign for anything. They were just like, the truck's going to be there. This is the guy's name. But also in the big scheme of things, like we talk about the $7,000 or however much. Maybe it only cost you $500 at the time. Maybe you're just 100 k's away. And you just need to get there, and that's understandable. But generally, we're hearing, it's always going to happen when you're that far away from something. I don't know what it is, Murphy's Law or something.
Murphy's Law.
But then also the other side of the cost comes, like, you got to be stuck there until a mechanic can see to your car, or you can even try and fix a caravan or get a part freighted. I mean, we were stuck in Mount Isa for 2.5 weeks. We couldn't get it fixed. Then we went over to Townsville. We're stuck there for 2-3 weeks. And you're in a caravan park. You can't free camp because, you're not moving around. You can't get to groceries. You can't. For us, it was, at least for the car. And then if it's a caravan, well, that's slightly different because now this hasn't happened to us where the caravan is broken down or and you need some sort of accommodation because the caravan will then go to a repairer, and so we're not quite 100% sure how that would work, but I'm sure if there's a will, there's a way, and these guys will, you hope that they will sort of understand your scenario and help you out as much as they can as well, and with the funds they have available for your account.
Sometimes it's not like a tragic incident in terms of like the car's actually broken down. We also had a scenario where we went out camping for the weekend, didn't we? And we had the rooftop tent, so it was literally just a little trip. You might remember where it was.
Oh, it was down on the York Peninsula somewhere. So this was when we were working at Gawler, and we took the car away for the weekend, and without the van, and the battery just decided it's had enough in the car, and I couldn't start it. We tried. Because it's an automatic, you can't push start it. We tried jump starters, we tried charging it, we tried to do everything, and the battery was that flat. So we rung up, and they sent some young kid, awesome bloke, out on a Saturday afternoon in the middle of nowhere. It was a bit hard to let him know exactly where we were, but he found us. That's how remote we were,
wasn't it?
Yeah, and he had this massive jump starter kit because they're obviously a roadside assist. They do trucks, they do everything, and managed to get it going. And then we just drove to the nearest town, and we managed to get a battery and put a battery in. So it's not all about that. We even locked our car keys in the Ranger when we were in Brisbane after all of this had happened. I rang RACQ up. I said, "I'm so sorry, it's me again." Not that they remember me, and. They said, "Yeah, you've got like $350 left on, and we can get a guy out." He come out, he unlocked the car, he got his thing out and did his thing, and boom, he got the car key out. So it's not always breakdowns. It's also some stupid things like that, or the battery. And your batteries, because we don't always, like, let's be honest, like when you're out here, I don't know, for myself, when you're out here enjoying yourself and having a good time, you forget the time, the day, how long. You're just interested in seeing stuff, and you forget like a maintenance on your vehicle to go in and check your battery and make sure it's okay. So that's generally might even happen to a lot of people. Now, we don't going to carry a spare battery with us because they weigh a ton, or they are very heavy. So these small things can happen all the time. And when the battery gets that flat and depleted, like, you can't even jump start it with those jump starter kits, and then you're stuck on the side of the road and you've got to get someone out. And you could be 200-300 k's away, and believe me, they'll charge to come out and get you going again. And if you don't have roadside assist, you've got to fork that out of your pocket. Yeah. So the 300, I just think you shouldn't leave home without RACQ or NRMA or whatever it is.
Whichever company you go with.
You've just got to have it, and we can't express that anymore. Now, we know our videos don't reach the entire audience. Unfortunately, we would love it to do. So we ask for you guys, if you could share this amongst your travel communities, just so they can understand the urgency, or the main thing to do is have that RAC or that roadside assist, some sort of roadside assist. Yeah. So, you know, even if you're going camping for a week, you could just, these things unfortunately happen.
Well, it happened to my brother, didn't it? I mean, he went camping, he probably goes camping like once a year, and on the weekend he went camping, his battery also decided to die. So fortunately he had roadside assist and they could come out to him.
He might run out of fuel. Keep an eye out for the Gibb River Road episodes. If you don't want to miss them, hit the subscribe button down below. That's coming up. Yeah, you could run out of fuel. You could. These things happen.
Yeah.
And
well, the big thing is, if you think about the number of kilometers that you're doing and the amount of time that you spend traveling on the road, it's all about probability. The more time you spend doing something, the more likely something can happen, and you just don't want to be caught with your pants down.
I also think too, the stress that you don't have anything to cover you, all of these little stressful things that happen, like if you leave home, builds up and you don't sort of enjoy yourself. You'll get in the car and you drive and you go, oh, please don't break down, or the caravan, please, or camper or boat, or don't let the wheel fall off and I'm stuck on the side of the road because I forgot to take out roadside assist. Those little stress, then it's this, then it's that, then it all builds up, and I don't think you're going to have a great time if you've got all of this stuff on your shoulders.
And we see plenty of cars on the side of the road, on the back of tow trucks, whether it's a wheel's fallen off or an axle's broken or they've run out of food or
flat tyre, blown tyre, all of these type of things, guys. Yeah. Like, honestly, we can't stress a lot. So we're not going to dribble along too much and hold you too much, but you have covered this before.
I do need to say something.
Yes.
We are not financial advisors. This is our personal experience. We are by no means specialists when it comes to roadside assistance or the different companies and what their cover includes. So it's highly recommended that you get online or you pick up the phone and you call them to understand what they include, what they cover, what they don't cover, what the cost is. And
give them a scenario that you know, what happens if I've broken down a remote? Yeah. Find out, understand it, like that they might not cover something. So, and you know, we're not saying take over. All we're trying to say is that get some sort of roadside assist and call them, have a chat with them, so you know exactly where you stand with the company if something goes wrong. Yeah. So guys, yeah, we don't want to dribble around. We have covered this before, but I thought I'll touch on it again because it's clearly been missed in this sort of industry, and we can't express enough about it, and it's happened to us, so we thought that's why we would touch on it. But we don't want to keep you too long. We hope you're having a fantastic week. From myself, soon Bobby, guys, thank you so much for your support. We've got some awesome Gibb River Road episodes coming up, so don't miss that. And you guys enjoy the rest of the week, and we'll catch you next episode. See ya.